Theme and variations is a ton of fun. This is something that happens throughout music. We have a theme, we have a basic idea, a melody, and then we have particular variations that expound upon it. Way back in the day, musicians would take a simple melody and see how many different types of variations that they could do with it. This is only 3 variations, and it could get really complex or really simplistic, but we're starting off with that basic bare bones melody and turning it into something else. So we are in G major. We don't have any repeats. We have the melody, the main theme, then we have variation 1, 2, 3, and then we have coda, which means the tail end, the end piece. So we have a couple of accidentals with a C sharp in there, and it returns back to C natural in all of the variations. And then in the coda, we have quite a few more. So we'll get to that. Leaving your fingers down for as long as possible is going to help you out a lot, and having nice smooth bows. So take your time really getting this theme wrapped around in your head. Playing it very nice and subtly so you can get used to it. Variation 1, we have the same notes, we're just adding a little bit extra. That's the same, a little bit extra. And then in variation 2, we have very similar, but we're adding even more. So all of these are really lots and lots of bow. The entire time, all of these are all, except for one measure, couple measures, we're doing 2 beats down, 2 beats up, 2 beats down, 2 beats up. And so really hone into very nice string crossings, very smooth, so that we don't have a jerking back and forth. If you need to, practice with open strings. It's really important to do open strings practice. Have those fingers set up behind it. That's another way to get even more smooth transitions. So I'm pulling my second finger behind. This is in measure 34. 3, 2, D, G. Pulling it right behind. And then my other fingers follow it. I can back up even further. Measure 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And measure 13, we're going to leave this first finger down. You have no reason to lift that up. Leave that first finger down as you go to that third finger. So a way that you can practice this, put your first finger down on your A string, and then you're going to tap your third finger on the A string. Tap it, have really good confidence, keep it on if you have tapes or that same area. And then you go on to the D string, leave that first finger on your A string, then tap on your D string, and then go back and forth. And then you can go on your E string as well, so that you can go back and forth between all of these. This is a really great exercise. And then you can also do it like what we did in measure 34. Tap that second finger behind and tap it on the adjacent string right next to it so that you can get that going. This is really good practice for finger independence. And we want to practice these separately. Practice your bow and your fingers separately, no bow, and then no fingers, so that we can make something automatic, and when we bring it together, we slowly put it back together. An important thing to practice happens in the first variation is this 3-4-3 open. It first happens in measure 21, B, G, A, B. And this is going to happen throughout your violin repertoire like bajillions of times. So get it in there so that we can always have it available in our toolbox. So we're going to match up that third finger with the lower string, that G. And if you play that perfectly in tune, that G string will vibrate. And see, with that fourth finger, A, so getting that to be nice and smooth is easier said than done. I've practiced it a bajillion times, so I'm better at it. Nothing's ever perfect, right? So keep working on that with the intonation and the fluidity of changing the strings back and forth. Then next, in the end of the second movement, we have a ritardando, and we want to slow that down. I won't be doing that for the recordings, for the different speeds, because it's too hard to deviate together via recording with the metronome. But the thing is, we're using 2 beats per bow for all of these variations. Now all of a sudden, we're doing 1 beat per bow. So really let that happen. Let it expand out with your bow. Oops. Big. That's going to help you. And slow lift off. So we have that diminuendo on that up bow. So we don't have to weigh in like that. Lift up while we're moving. Right. So then on to variation 3. We're just adding even more. We have this wonderful siren sound. The good thing is that we have a setup before that. We have that third finger that comes right before. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 4. And so we're going to use that third finger to really feel that that whole step. And just like before, we're going to get that perfectly in tune with that open string, and that perfectly in tune with that open E string. And we're not going to lift up that third finger very high, or that fourth finger, I should say. So that can fall down in the same spot every time. Use my video on fourth finger exercises to build up that strength. Let's take a look at this coda, because that's where things get a little bit jumbled up for people. We've been in G major this whole time, and we're starting at 65 with G, but then we have that F natural on our E string, so that low 1. And then in 65, 70, 66, 67, we have a low 4, low 1, regular 2, or low 2, and regular 1. It's going to go back and forth. So really spend your time listening to your intonation for this. Two, 3, low 4, and then we're going to scooch that up. Let's do that again from measure 67. Ready, and go, and... Good, and then we're just gonna slide over. Scale down. Leave that down. Definitely a 4 there. Don't skip out of these 4s. All right, we're going to have some finger sliding going on. So 3, A, 1, 1. And so the way that I do this, I kind of like snap to it. We don't want a long, we're not doing a really slow fiddle or anything, so we're gonna snap to that. that first finger to measure out where that second finger goes. High 2. Use that third finger to tell you where that fourth finger is. It's that whole step. Bow 2. So we do a diminuendo here. So really, you can be right at the tip or your upper half of the bow. Slow down your bow, and to help you get a better sound, come closer to here. So you can do that slow bow. Get closer to that frog. So an experiment with that. We want to always do over here. But that can be a little bit too wispy. It depends on what kind of effect that we're going for. And then to finish up, have that G be perfectly in tune with that open G. If you're doing first position, stay in first position, open, and then super slow. Then you're gonna let this fade off into the distance and just lift your bow as it's still moving. That is the major trick. If we stop, we're stopping the sound. So keep it going. If you know vibrato, keep that vibrato going as you lift off. Now, if we're shifting, we're gonna keep that G in our head, and we're playing G right there, and that same G. So this is a really great practice. All that. Shift during that open G, whole step, and then third finger B, it's a whole step. And that is easier. I always teach vibrato in third position because we have this spot to really help us with that rocking motion. And same thing, lift as you are moving the bow, so you're not stopping that sound. This one, I have a hard time doing, or I don't want to do too much vibrato. I feel like more of a white tone sounds really good to fade off into the distance, but it's preference for everybody. Don't feel the need to really wiggle that finger like crazy. All right, good luck and have fun practicing this with the 3 different speeds on the other video. Happy practice.